court will now reconvene. As our witness, Miss Olga Orly recovered.
Yes, Your Honor. She's regained consciousness. Perhaps we can heal her version of the events again. That's the thing. You see, she's quite fatigued.
A bit fatigued yourself, Mr. Payne.
Sadly, fatigue is insufficient grounds for refusing to testify. Prosecute. The defense would like to request that Miss Orly take the stand.
Very well. The witness will take the stand.
Perhaps you could repeat your name and profession? Or perhaps you'd rather admit that you're a poor liar and a poor loser. Not.
Name's Olga Orly. That's the truth. I'm a pro dealer. People call me Olga Quick Fingers Orly. Oh, really? Want to know something else? I'm not really Russian. My last name sounds like oh really. There, that's the truth. I hope you're satisfied. Witness! You will tell the court what you were really up to that night.
Fine. I'll talk. We had a plan, see?
Let me remind you that you are currently under oath. Any further fabrications will have serious consequences.
Fine. Like I said, I'm a pro. That guy, Smith, hired me to do what I do best. I was playing at the Boston Bowl Club several days prior to the night of the game. As a waitress. So you were in cahoots with the victim. Not that he needed my help. Smith is a well-known poker player in some circles. But winning isn't the main purpose of this game. It was about destroying a legend. The unbeatable Phoenix Wright. The plan was simple. Elegant, really, you see. We set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant a card in White's pocket beforehand. And then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When their hands were revealed, Smith would call him out and search White. He would then pull out the planted card and the trap would snap shut. You swapped the cards! Exposed as a cheater and losing on top of it, it would have made a great double play. Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces.
Indeed. Getting caught red-handed and cheating would cast doubt on all his prior wins.
A 7-year legend, destroyed by one little card. That was the plan. Oh really? Oh really? How droll. But it appears you made quite the mistake.
A mistake?
I agree. The trap was elegant. Yet, what happened to that planted card? Hey! That's right! He's lucky! I'll give him that! He had to slip free from a trap laid by Olga Quick Fingers, oh really?
Oh, really? The witness would be so much cuter if he'd spend it with the evil mastermind stick.
Cute? Who wants to be cute? I'm not cute. I'm bad. You hear me? Bad!
When you're through being bad, perhaps you could testify to the court. Tell us about this trap and how it was sprung.
That night, I planted the card like I was supposed to. And White lost the last hand, just like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him. But the planted card was gone. The trap failed. The next moment, White picked up a bottle and swung it. It wasn't me who hit Smith. It was that no-good cheating defendant.
A surprisingly frank testimony that still leaves us mostly in the dark. The trap was perfect, I tell you. Perfect! If that wine and Tito hadn't messed it up! Look who's talking! Well, the testimony, for what it's worth, is all yours, Mr. Justice. With witnesses like her, who needs criminals? And with defendants like Mr. White, who needs prosecutors? That night, I planted the card like I was supposed to. And White lost the last hand, just like he was supposed to. Then Smith shots him. But the planet card was gone. The trap failed. Next moment, White picked up a bottle and swung it. Hold it! Wait, isn't that a little odd? What's odd? You searched Mr. White thoroughly and found nothing? Which means he didn't cheat. Which means he had no reason to strike the victim. Well... What was that just now? I sensed something. Something wrong, Mr. Justice? No, nothing, Your Honor. What to do? Should I press her a little harder? Miss O'Willie, you're hiding something! What are you talking about? You! Me? Quick fingers? The defense will refrain from baseless accusations! I have one question for the witness then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim? Is this true? Of course it's true! I did see it! Honest! I saw it when White hit him! With my own eyes, I saw it! What's this weird vibe I'm getting? That witness, for instance, Miss O'Willie. See what touched the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice? Touching her neck, was it? Whoa, what's going on? Sensation. It's coming into focus. There, that twitch. It's so clear. It's like I could perceive her habit. Like I couldn't before. Gotcha! Miss O'Willie, perhaps you are unaware of this yourself. Unaware of what? Whenever you get to a certain part of your testimony, you touch the back of your neck with your left hand. My neck? So what? What indeed, Justice? I hadn't noticed anything of the sort. When she says that part of the testimony, she's subconsciously recalling something. Her body reacts to the memory, and she touches her neck. I'm sorry. A memory? Would someone care to explain what he's babbling about? This is highly unusual, but let's ask the defense. You claim the witness is remembering something? Maybe you have evidence of this memory to show us. Her habit is scratching her neck whenever she talks about the moment of the crime. So, what will remind her most of the moment of the crime? Miss O'Willie, whenever you recall the crime that night, you scratch your neck. I've noticed it happens when you think about the moment of the crime. There must be some reason behind this habit of yours. I believe the weapon that left an irreplaceable impression on your neck is this! Take that! Whenever she talks about the moment of the crime, she touches her neck. And what reminds us more of that moment than this bottle, the murder weapon. But something doesn't fit. If you were only the witness to the crime, why would that make you touch your neck like you're in pain? What's he talking about now? It was Mr. Smith, the victim, who was hit, not you.
This is a cross-examination, not a cross-wired conjecture. The witnesses' habits are completely irrelevant. Just this element. I'm a bit confused myself. This is certainly a unique cross-examination. I'll explain later. Just trust me. Now's our only chance to break her. Miss O'Reilly, please testify in detail about the moment of the crime. The very moment. I am knowing nothing. We know you're not Russian. The witness will testify, please, now. Fine. He's the one who did it. I didn't let him out of my sight until the cops got there. Objection! Miss O'Reilly, we have a record here that clearly contradicts what you said. It states that the police were alerted by a report from the defendant. And we know that the defendant left the room, climbed the stairs, and made that phone call from the first floor of the Boast Bowl Club. So, explain how you kept your eyes on the defendant when he left the room entirely. Ah! The man who picked up a bottle and sung it that night wasn't the defendant. Showdown time. You dirty cheat! Check his pockets now! It's gone! The card's gone! You lose. Ah! Just then, Smith grabbed the bottle from next to White, and he hit me! Some massive cheating you turned out to be! Ah! When I came to, the victim was already dead, is that it? That's why I couldn't reveal who I really was. If it came out that I was in league with Smith, I'd be a suspect for sure. Well, where does this leave us? Madness! This is madness! I'm dreaming! Must have been me who was here with a bottle, and I'm imagining all of this! It appears our prosecution is at its wit's end, and frankly, I can't blame him. Mr. Gavin, what do you think about this turn of events? Mr. Galvin, sir? I believe that as the defense in this case, we are compelled to call Miss O'Reilly a big fat liar. What? 3 were in the room the night of the murder, the defendant, victim, and her. And she had a motive. A motive? Her plot failed. The witness got into an argument with her client, Mr. Smith. And the agreement of that argument was murder. What? I did it! I'm no killer! It's a trap! Someone's trying to frame me! What tangled webs we weave when we practice to deceive. So tangled, we catch ourselves in the process. Mr. White? Such a hasty conclusion. It's not like you, Christoph Gavin. What are you saying? Why not consider the other possibility? that there was another person in the room at the time of the murder. Right, like Mr. White was saying before recess. A single card was swapped into the victim's hand after the murder. And the one who swapped the card didn't know two colors of cards were being used. A fourth person. This theory again! Your fourth person doesn't exist! Indeed. That's why I decided to bring this case to court. Here, where there's no escape and no chance for deception. The perfect plan is to catch the real criminal.
The real criminal?
Good luck. A clue to the real criminal's identity was kindly provided for us. And right at the beginning of the trial, no less. What? Apollo, perhaps you know what I'm talking about. Sorry. Remember what I said? The fourth person who swapped the cards made one critical error. He or she wasn't considering the color on the backs of the cards. Right? How could such an obvious mistake occur? The cards used for the last game were red. Yet, there's one person here in our cards who thought those cards were blue. Yeah, I had that impression too. But why? Well, Apollo, think you can figure out who it was? It's not me! I swear!
Who is this fourth person?
Why do I always get put on the spot like this? Let's hear what the defense has to say. Who was it? Who thought the cards used in the front game were blue?
Take that!
As I expected. Your eyes and ears are as sharp as your hair. I was right! Christoph Gavin, you were the fourth person that night. But of course Mr. Gavin knows the color of the cards. How would he? As you can see, the photo of the crime scene is black and white. You can't tell which of the cards are blue, the ones on the floor or the table. But look! You can see the colors in this photo. Yes, but when he said the cards were blue, it was well before this evidence came to light. It's true that the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim. Yet it was only that, a game in the purest sense. A competition, Your Honor. A competition? Yes, just of wits. A silent class of passions. Only the cards, their backs rubbed in blue flame, knew its final outcome. Well, Christoph? Mr. Gavin?
Mr. Gavin, is something the matter?
No, nothing. Excuse me. It was just so sudden. Right. You aren't seriously accusing me, are you? Oh, Christoph. You know, even I'd never take a joke this far. This has gone beyond ridiculous, beyond dumb. This is insanity! The defendant accusing his own defense attorney of murder? I assure you, I'm quite sane. But what possible connection could Mr. Gavin have to the victim? I wasn't aware that I had a connection to Mr. Smith either. Yes, Mr. Gavin and the victim have never even met! Well, what if they have? Huh? There is a possibility, after all. They may have met that night, before the game started.
What are you suggesting?
Is this the truth, Mr. White? Was staying silent about... Well, only one thing to do. Mr. White, the defense would like to request that you testify to the court. The defense would like to request no such thing. Mr. Gavin? Testimonies must relate to the case. How could anything happening before that game of poker be related? That's right, follow Mr. Gavin. As I explained before, the defense believes that Miss O'Reilly, and I am to assume you speak for Mr. Justice in this trial, he is the defense, not you. Mr. Justice, the matter of Mr. White's testimony is up to you. Oh, okay. Does the court, in your opinion, need to hear Mr. White's testimony? This was Mr. White's strategy. He was planning this all along, and I intend to see it through. The defense would like to request that Mr. White testify to the court. Yes, you would betray me, your teacher? I'm sorry, Mr. Gavin. This isn't about loyalty. This is about the truth. Very well. The defendant, Mr. White, will take the stand, please. That evening, Christopher and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photograph. Shady Smith walked in 5 minutes after Christoph left. When the trap failed, Smith hit the waitress. The girl was knocked out cold and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. That's when I made another phone call. The defense attorney, Gavin. Mr. Gavin, you were at the Bush Bowl Club the night of the murder? I dined with him rather frequently. And he talked to the defendant on the phone directly after the murder? Quite against my will, I had become involved in a murder. I thought I might be in need of a lawyer, so I called him. You were planning this all along, weren't you, right? Just because you wanted to drag me into your little murder trial. The only thing I want is the truth. As I did back then, and now. I thought my office was doing you a favor when we took on your defense. It appears that I was wrong. Very well. The defense may cross-examine the witness. Justice. Sir? He's lying, and you're going to expose him. Understood, sir. Mr. Gavin versus Mr. White. This can't end well. Why can't I have a normal trial? That evening, Christoph and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photograph. Shady Smith walked in 5 minutes after Christoph left. When the trap failed, Smith hit the waitress.
Hold it!
About this failed trap. This is the same trap that Miss Olga Orly mentioned. The plan was simple, elegant, really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant a card in Bright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When their hands were revealed, Smith would call him out and search White. He would then pull out the planted card and the trap would snap shut. You swapped the cards? Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces. Yes, a harmless prank in essence. It was by a quirk of fate that I happened to discover it. A quirk? I happened to put my hand in my pocket and found a card. The card he planted. Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found it was the 5 of hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card. Before the game. Disposed? Where? There was an empty bottle of grape juice I had been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle. An empty bottle of grape juice? The motor weapon? Yes, I rolled it up and shoved it in. The colored glass makes it hard to see. A battle of wits between the deceiver and the would-be deceived. That sounds like terrific drama. Caught inside her motor weapon. That's strange. Did the police miss it in their investigation? Maybe I'll take a look. Mr. White, the poker head of courtroom number 3 approves of this battle of wits. Please revise your testimony with this new information. I discovered a trap during the game and disposed of the card in the bottle. Why in the bottle? I perceived my opponent's intent immediately. I'm used to entrapment, you see. I knew what was coming. Oh, so you struck first. I like that. I know every trick in the book. They don't work on me. At least when you get lucky and stick your hands in your pocket, they don't. The bottle's completely empty.
Objection!
Mr. White, if I may. Yes. I've examined the bottle and I don't see any card in here. No? What? Mr. White, surely isn't all you have to say for yourself. I can't say that I know what happened to the card. I did put it in that bottle, however. Huh? Perhaps the fifth person came and took it out? Oh, and a sixth person could have helped. Mr. Gavin, Mr. White is your client. My apologies, Your Honor. I won't have you disregarding our investigation either. We looked inside that bottle. There was nothing. So what's going on? Is Mr. White hoodwinking us again? Or did the card just disappear? In any case, please continue the cross-examination. I'm afraid decisive contradictions call for decisive evidence. Oh! For some harder justice. Break him! It's just you and the witness in the ring. Go for the KO. Why do I get the feeling we're not on our client's side anymore? That evening, Christoph and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photograph. Sadie Smith walked in 5 minutes after Christoph left. I discovered the trap during this game and disposed of the card in the bottle. The goal was knocked out cold and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. When I returned, he was dead. Blood streaming from a cut on his forehead.
Objection!
Mr. White, if I may. Yes? Take a look at this photograph of the crime scene. See the victim here? He's wearing a hat. I wouldn't think you could see blood on his forehead. Good point. Justice. Next time you point out an inconsistency, put a little more oomph into it. Mr. White, can you explain this to the court? I forgot to mention something. I was the one who put the hat on his head. Huh? You? You put the hat on the dead man's head?
We went through our entire poker game. After calling the police, when I returned to the scene, his head was in full view. Shining bright, just like in this photograph. And I picked up his hat off the floor and put it on his head.
Whoa. Why'd you do such a thing like that?
All I can say is, I'm sorry. That's the only thing I touched at the crime scene. So, Miss Orly didn't see it? Or Willie didn't see it? It being the victim's his head? I think not. She was out cold. I believe I was the only one who witnessed his head. Ah, here we go again. Mr. Gavin? Pardon. It just seems that our client is determined to lie his way through this case. Hey, he's still our client, isn't he? I believe that's enough of that. Mr. Gavin? This witness's testimony is more like a travesty. It's riddled with lies.
I'm beginning to see how you came to lose your Tony's bed 7 years ago. Well, you certainly have a unique way of treating your clients, Kristoff. I never knew. I believe it was you who threw the first stone. Mr. White, if you intend to ever tell the truth about this case, it's now or never. Don't be misled. I haven't told a single lie here. Huh? I noticed the trap. I put the card in the bottle to dispose of it. And when I put the hat on the victim's head, that's to say, I had a reason for doing that as well. Reason? The reason is right here. Your cell phone? That night, the call that I spoke with defense attorney Gavin after calling the police. Just in case, I recorded our conversation. What's this? Now that we're all here, I see no reason why I shouldn't play it back for the court. Kristoff, I seem to be in a bit of trouble. What's this? Game not going well? Something like that? That gentleman who challenged you, he turned out to be good? He turned out to be dead. Someone hit him. Hard. You mean someone cracked that flawless bone china plate? It wasn't you, was it? Me? Please. The cops will be here any minute. I'm in your hands. So to come to that. Bone china plate? A kind of porcelain. Very smooth and shiny. And not plate, but pate. I believe he was referring to a certain gentleman's balding forehead. The court appreciates the defense's discretion. It is not indicating my forehead.